When people talk about artificial intelligence, the fear usually looks like this: a sudden, cliff-edge event where algorithms wipe out human employment overnight. But a total collapse where nobody has a job is highly unlikely. Economists generally agree that human labor will remain valuable in some form. The actual threat is much quieter. It revolves around a permanent shift in bargaining power, the leverage you have over your employer. Losing a specific job is painful, but slowly losing the ability to negotiate your wages, your hours, and your working conditions eats away at the entire middle class over decades. This diagram visualizes the historical tug-of-war of capitalism. On one side, workers supplying labor; on the other, employers demanding it. In the middle, wages act as the balancing point between conflicting interests. For most of the 20th century, if a business needed to scale its output, it had to hire more people. When workers were scarce, companies had to compete for them, pulling wages higher. AI changes this equation. Now a company can ask whether it should hire another employee, or if software can do it instead. AI becomes an alternative to hiring, allowing companies to radically scale their output without increasing their headcount. Because one employee with an AI assistant can do the work that previously required 3, companies need fewer total workers. That leaves a larger pool of people competing for fewer open roles, stripping away their ability to ask for better pay. AI uncouples human productivity from human compensation. Even as output hits record highs, the economic power shifts toward those who own the machines. We are currently in the first phase of this transition. AI assistants are augmenting early adopters. Workers are producing more, coding faster, and writing quicker, which drives profit margins up for their companies. But as we move into the 2030s, the labor market adjusts. Executives realize they operate just fine without large departments dedicated to data analysis, customer support, or administrative research. Look at how office work used to scale. Generating cognitive output meant packing entire floors with desks, typewriters, and human operators. Today, an AI-enabled marketing agency might need 20 people to do the work that previously required 100. A software startup might need 15 engineers instead of 500. The economy will keep growing, and output will hit record highs, but the actual number of available seats for entry and mid-level office workers will shrink, leaving a surplus of highly educated people fighting for a handful of lean positions. This splits the labor market into distinct tiers. The high-end winners are the AI engineers, the robotic specialists, and most importantly, the people who own the platforms in the capital. The most stable roles will be in the skilled trades and human-centric healthcare. A plumber navigating a messy basement, or a nurse providing physical presence and empathy, relies on trust and manual adaptability that software cannot replicate. The real pressure lands squarely on the middle tier of cognitive workers. Displaced staff will face contract work, the gig economy, and highly competitive freelance projects. When AI changes the requirements of an industry every few years, the model of learn once, work forever begins to crack. It forces a cycle of frequent retraining, making career longevity a matter of constant adaptation rather than tenure. People will still have jobs, but they will face chronic underemployment, fractured career paths, and unpredictable incomes. If wages stagnate while productivity soars, earning a salary will stop being a reliable way to build wealth for the middle class. Instead, financial security will depend on what you own. Stock in AI platforms, data centers, intellectual property, and real estate will capture the vast majority of the wealth generated by this new economy. Historically, when technological revolutions concentrate wealth and squeeze the working class, people organize and demand change. This dynamic will force a political realignment. For the last 100 years, politicians have argued over how to create jobs. Moving forward, the primary debate will be how to distribute the wealth created by machines. Societies seek stability. If the majority of voters watch AI generate unprecedented prosperity while they struggle to secure steady contract work, they will vote for politicians who rewrite the rules. This spectrum outlines possible economic solutions. On one side, people often point to universal basic income, but a more structurally sound approach is broadening ownership of productive assets, employee stock plans, sovereign wealth funds, and cooperatives, so citizens own the AI-driven economy. There is also the variable of time. Just as the Industrial Revolution eventually gave us the weekend, AI's massive productivity gains could easily be translated into shorter work weeks and earlier retirements instead of mass layoffs. While we cannot easily pause technological development, our economic rules are social constructs. We have the agency to decide how the gains from that technology are distributed. The central test of this transition is the speed at which we can build new institutions that ensure ordinary people actually own a piece of the future.